James Gunn DCU and Batman future in limbo ahead of Warner Bros. Discovery sale. Yeah, I mean, this news is absolutely huge. We've just rebooted the entire DC Universe, and just as it's getting off the ground, it looks like Warner Bros. Discovery is being sold off to the highest bidder. We have companies like Netflix, Comcast, Apple, and companies like this, man. I mean, Paramount, I think they've just been turned down for their second or third offer to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. So, I mean, James Gunn's future is in limbo. No one knows what's going to happen to him. Is he going to be ousted as the CEO? Are they going to find another position for him? What's going to happen is kind of all up in the air, and it's a bit crazy at the moment. And it sounds like, you know, the DC Universe is in kind of limbo as well. Is it going to continue? Is it not going to continue? We'll have to wait and see. But let's dive in, break down these details, and let's see if we can gain some information about what may be happening with the future of DC here. So, it's my understanding that James Gunn's DCU is now on hold pending the sale of Warner Bros. Discovery. Yeah, I mean, if it goes to another company like an Apple, like a Netflix, like a Paramount, they may not want to continue on with James Gunn's DC Universe. They may want to start their own DC Universe, or they may oust James Gunn and put their own executive in charge of what's going on at DC. We just don't know. They may keep James Gunn. I mean, who knows? If they like what James Gunn is doing, then they might buy Warner Bros. Discovery and then just keep all the people in position, but obviously they'll be owning the company, but may just keep things running as they are. It's kind of a lot up in the air, and fans are kind of just speculating and theorizing, and there's a lot of theories going around on social media, that's for sure. So, that doesn't include projects already filmed, currently in production, or that already have release dates. Yeah, we have James Gunn's Man of Tomorrow will film next year and release in 2027. Likewise, Supergirl has already been filmed and is set for 2026. I'm kind of excited for Supergirl. I'm excited to see what they do with it. The same for Clayface. That's my most anticipated DC project ever since it was announced. A body horror type movie. If you guys have seen The Substance, that body horror where that woman's injecting herself with that kind of, you know, beauty kind of medicine and she turns into a monster, that's kind of what I'm envisioning here. Just like a grotesque body horror set in the DCU, but it's a Clayface movie. It sounds insane, but I'm so looking forward to it. That's just to go off on a tangent. But yeah, so they've already filmed Supergirl. Clayface is already being shot. We looked at some of the leaks on the channel. Lanterns will debut on HBO Max in early 2026. Gunn also has 2 animated series in the works. Creature Commandos. I'm not a big animated guy. I did enjoy Creature Commandos to a point. It was funny. It had some, you know, light-hearted comedy moments in it, but ultimately I don't care all that much about it, if I'm honest. Not because it's bad. I'm just not an animated person, like animated shows or movies, really. Commandos Season 2 and Mr. Miracle. Okay. However, if nothing else goes into production by 2026, everything will have to wait until whoever buys Warner Bros. Discovery decides what to do with DC. I mean, that's the thing. I kind of throw the question off to you guys. So, if you were in charge of one of these other companies, Netflix, Apple, Comcast, Paramount, whoever it is who's buying Warner Bros., let's say you've just acquired Warner Bros., do you keep James Gunn in place, or do you replace him with your own executive and restart the DCU again, or do you keep the DCU in place but just replace James Gunn? I mean, how would you do it? If you was in charge and you just acquired Warner Brothers, what would you do with DC? Another reboot, or just keep everything as it is with James Gunn running the whole thing? I mean, that's the big question. I would love to know what you guys would do if you were in that position. Then we have the guys over there at DC. Obviously, we have David Zaslav, the big head honcho, who's in charge of everything. James Gunn and Peter Safran, the co-CEOs there of DC Studios. Okay, Batman's on hold. Wonder Woman in question. On hold includes the DCU Batman, while Wonder Woman has reportedly been fast-tracked at this point. What's the point? At this point, what's the point? I mean, again, there was a lot of confusion around Wonder Woman, wasn't there? Because Gal Gadot came out and said that she was coming back to the role, and then it was James Gunn said that she's not coming back to the role. The same sort of thing with Harley Quinn. Like, a lot of people thought she was coming back. Margot Robbie was coming back for Harley Quinn, and then it turns out she's not, but she is. And it's kind of, we get these conflicting reports about what's going on. But DCU Batman's on hold. That doesn't really matter. We've got the Robert Pattinson Batman Part 2 coming out in the next few years, which is going to be a masterpiece. Let's not beat around the bush. That first Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, I don't care what anyone says, the first 10 minutes of that opening, like the monologue they do at the beginning, that was a masterpiece of the genre, as far as I'm concerned. Matt Reeves knocked it out of the park with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Batman Part 2. But anyway, yeah, so we're not going to be short of Batman content, so I'm not too worried that the DCU Batman is on hold. And then Wonder Woman, I don't really care all that much about Wonder Woman. Yeah, it would be cool to see her in a movie, a new rendition of her, but I don't think it's anything that anyone's going to be majorly disappointed with, to be honest, having to wait for a Wonder Woman film. I was told there was already people within Warner Brothers worried about what Gunn planned to do with Batman before the release of Peacemaker Season 2. But after how poorly Peacemaker performed, Peacemaker didn't perform poorly, did it? I thought it did quite well. I thought it was quite a good success. I mean, notwithstanding the finale of Season 2, which I think was absolutely just... it was one of the worst finales I've ever seen to any TV show. Half of the episode was just one big music video. It's like nothing exciting happened. It was just like... Yeah, but that's a whole nother story for another video. Maybe you guys like the finale of Peacemaker Season 2. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of split down the middle. Some people like it, some people didn't. But anyway... Peacemaker Season 2 performed poorly. I don't think it actually did. There's even more reason for concern. Batman is one of the Warner Brothers' biggest IPs and DC's largest brand. I mean, absolutely. He's the gem in the crown of DC, Batman. Batman is like James Bond. You can continue to put different Batman iterations out year after year after year, spanning decade after decade after decade. And like James Bond, Batman never goes out of fashion, never goes out of style. Always people interested in seeing the Batman character, very much like James Bond. You just adapt him to deal with the modern era, and it's a character that will live forever, and people never get tired of him. And absolutely, they need to be careful what they do with Batman, because if they destroy the reputation of the Batman character, then DC's in trouble. Okay, so Gunn faced massive backlash for Peacemaker Season 2, the finale at least. The rest of the show was okay, I'm not going to say it wasn't. The finale was just the really bad part, which he described as the sequel to Superman. The show lost nearly half of its audience, and Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam even outperformed Superman on HBO Max over the same period. That's kind of crazy. The Black Adam movie wasn't that bad. I thought it was actually okay. It didn't make much money though. I think it made like 400 million, if not less. But I thought it was an okay movie. I enjoyed parts of it, especially Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate in the Black Adam movie, holy crap. Pierce Brosnan playing Black Fate. Dr. Fate, if I can get my words right. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate needed his own movie or series. He was such a cool character in that movie. Gunn's contract nears its end. So Gunn has already said he won't be developing his DCU Batman while Matt Reeves films the Batman Part 2 in 2026. That means a DCU Batman, if a DCU Batman ever happens, production won't start until 2027, after Gunn's DC contract expires in 2026. And Gunn recently admitted he doesn't know what his future is at DC following Man of Tomorrow. I've been told that with the new Warner Brothers Discovery owners come a new direction for DC. I mean, how would you know that though? Because you don't know which company is going to be buying Warner Brothers Discovery, so I don't know how this person would know that. I've been told that with the new Warner Brothers Discovery owners come a new direction, but the company hasn't been bought yet. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Director Andy Muschietti, who did The Flash, which was an abysmal film as far as I'm concerned, told Variety, wait a couple of months before talking about the DCU Batman, clearly because of the pending sale. Okay. So, projects delayed or shelved. So, the Sergeant Rock movie and James Mangold's Swamp Thing, that was something I was excited for as well. Like a horror movie, The Swamp Thing, that would have been amazing. Have been put on hold. Those delays line up with Gunn's contract expiring and everything being pushed to 2027. So, it's fair to assume those projects aren't happening anytime soon, if at all. Peacemaker won't be getting a season 3. The Viola Davis Waller series isn't happening. I think that was a bad idea. She's a great character, but she's a supporting character. I don't think she would stand having her own movie or series. She's great when she's with an ensemble of characters, but I don't see her as like a main character. I don't think that works, in my opinion. As my insiders said, Gunn has quietly pivoted away from his original plan towards a Superman family saga. There's little reason to build a broader universe when Warner Bros. Discovery itself is about to change hands. So what happens after the sale? Maybe Gunn stays. I was previously told that if Comcast or Universal buys Warner Bros. Discovery, they would probably keep Gunn, but that was before he released anything. Since then, Gunn's DCU results have been divisive and reportedly unprofitable. Yeah, apparently Superman lost a whole load of money because the budget was too big, which I first reported and then was backed up by Forbes. I've been told that if Skydance buys Warner Brothers Discovery, Skydance, the best case scenario is that Mike DeLuca to take over DC. DeLuca just dated the Minecraft sequel only 2 weeks after Gunn's Man of Tomorrow. To me, that says it all. In a recent interview questioning his DC future, Gunn also sounded like he didn't even know what was happening with Lanterns. He's supposed to be the head of DC Studios, yet he was unaware of key projects. At this point, Gunn looks more like a director doing his own thing than someone steering a studio. Yeah, but the thing is, because he's a co-CEO of Peter Safran is more of the business end of the CEO kind of leadership, whereas James Gunn is more of the creative side. So I get it to a point that James Gunn may not know what's happening in the future with certain projects because he's more of the creative side of it. He's the one who gets behind the productions, directs things, does the not cinematography, but he's the one who does all the direction on the movies and the planning, whereas Peter Safran is the guy who's planning all the business and the financials and all that kind of stuff, so he would know more about that. I guess that still doesn't give James Gunn an excuse not to know what's going on with his own company. You'll also notice that Gunn has been appearing in various YouTube interviews lately, no doubt to draw attention to himself amid the pending Warner Brothers Discovery sale. It's likely also a response to Zack Snyder recently posting new DCEU images, which reignited fan support for Snyder's DC vision. Yeah, we've been talking about that on the channel over the past week or so. He's been putting up these beautiful monochrome images of Superman, Batman, Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. They've been incredible. Go back and check out those videos, by the way. I'll put links in the description if you want to check out these videos. But absolutely incredible. And it reignited the Snyder fan base to think that Netflix could potentially buy Warner Brothers, and we could end up with the Justice League Part 2 and 3. But there we go, guys. So that's a lot of information there to get through. I know there was a bit of reading there, so I apologize. But it looks like James Gunn's future is up in the air. It looks like DC is up in the air. Until we know which company is going to buy out Warner Brothers Discovery, we just don't know how the future of DC is going to go. If James Gunn's going to lose his job, if they're going to keep him, what's going on with like Batman, what's going on with Wonder Woman. It seems that these projects are on hold until the company's sold, until we can figure out what's going on with the future of Warner Brothers Discovery as a whole, not just DC Studios. But there we go, guys. So jump into the comment section, let me know what you think about this. And like I say, if you was in charge, would you keep James Gunn in place if you bought the company, or would you oust him and put someone else in position? Whatever your thoughts are here, guys, leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions as always in the comment section. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks so much for being here. Make sure you become a subscriber of the channel as well if you haven't done so. Help support the content, and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any future updates coming to the channel as well. And with all that good stuff down, I will see you in the very next video.